Oh yeah, it is.
We'll be live, so you may want to put your phone on mute until we're ready.
Okay.
The alphabet is filled with consonants and vowels. We write them, we read them. Each letter makes a sound. Well, we start with ABC. We go.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us on today. We'll ask that everybody, welcome to our Teacher Talk, ELC's Teacher Talk. So we'll ask that everybody take a few moments and share or create a watch party. So once again, welcome all the people who are on Facebook. Welcome to our ELC Get to Know Us. This is a teacher series. So we're excited to bring you the teachers who are going to talk to us today. And so we ask that you'll share it and get all your friends and family on. We're listening to one of the favorites of the young people, the alphabet song. So we're giving you a few minutes to get people connected with us. So we ask that you'll take a few moments and invite others to join in so we can hear from the fabulous teachers on today. Somebody ought to sing. Can y'all see the kids singing this song? Once again, welcome to those who are joining us on Facebook. We're giving you a few moments to get on. We want you to be sure to share it, and we want you to create watch party because we have some great information for you today. So please join us as we talk with ELC teachers, Capri and Daniel. Now I know my ABC. Next time, won't you sing with me? Each letter makes a sound. Let's sound them out. Look, the ABC song has changed.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the sounds and everything.
That's why my students love it.
I love it.
We hit naming as well as sounds, which is important for.
Love it. All right. I got a new ABC song to learn. Once again, thank you for those who are joining and tuning in with us on Facebook. We want you to make sure that you create a watch party, that you invite others to join in with us. We want to make sure that everybody gets on today to hear these great teachers who are going to share some powerful information with us. So please do join us as we prepare to hear from those who are in the school districts. All right. And so once again, we want you to join us so that everybody gets on today to hear these great teachers who are going to share some powerful information with us. So please do join us as we prepare to hear from those who are in the school. Okay. I'm going to do that.
Oh, a watch party. Okay.
So once again, we ask that you would create a watch party. We ask that you would share this video with everybody that you can, because we want you, we need you to get this information on today. We have some great information to share with you. And that's the part I remember. Hey. All right, so we had a wonderful introduction. I think that's a great way to start our time with our teachers. And so welcome everybody who is joining us on today. We are having time with our teachers from ELC. Welcome to Daniel from the DC school system, and welcome to Capri, who is also teaching in DC school system. And so, you know, I think it's important that we talk with teachers to find out, you know, a little bit of information from them about their experiences, because we talk to the doctors and nurses, see them all the time on the television. We see those medical professionals, we see the police officers, we see the fire men and women, but we don't get a chance to really hear from the teachers. And so we at ELC felt it was very important to hear from some who are on the front lines with the babies. We talk about people being on the front lines. We have people on the front line with babies too, okay? So there is a front line with the babies and with the young people and with the adolescent teenagers. And so we have two great teachers for you on today who we are talking with, and they have some great information to share with you. So as I've said before, please, please, please make sure that you invite others to join us, because we have some great information today. And so Daniel, can you start us off and tell us what grade level do you work with in the school system?
Yes, of course. Hello. So I currently am in a pre-K 4 classroom, so 4-year-olds. And, yeah.
Wow, the babies. I mean,
Yeah, the,
you know,
the babies, yeah.
yeah, and they're all so cute. I mean, we just really just love on them, because we're like, oh, that backpack is the same size as you are. But
I actually have a student that is actually the same size as his book bag. And
I love that. So does he struggle with the backpack?
Well, when they have to put their stuff in their cubbies, it's always interesting to watch the ones who are able, like, have more fine motor skills that they can put their stuff individually, but then there's others who struggle even pushing it in, so they ask for help. So it's a lot of seeing who needs help, and where you can give them a little bit more independence, so that they have to learn how to do it themselves.
I love that. We should do like a teacher's bloopers or something where, funny stuff that happens with the kids in the classroom. Okay, so Capri, tell us what grade level you work with in the school system.
Hi, everybody. I work with, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I work with second grade.
Second graders.
Yeah,
wow,
second
the
graders.
people who are almost grown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they think they're grown.
Right.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Do. I've been to your classroom.
Yeah.
So, we're so glad to have both of you on. And you want to, Daniel was just telling us about the people who struggle with putting things in the cubby. So you got any thing that you want to share before we move on? Anything that you kind of miss, from seeing, since you're not in the space with them?
Well, I will say, teaching second grade, they are overly helpful. So, and when I say overly helpful, I'm very clumsy in the classroom, of course. But if I'm sitting and I'm writing on the easel and a marker drops, they all go for the marker. And I'm like, but it's right here by my foot. I can just easily pick it up with no problem. Or if I'm like, oh my gosh, where's my phone? Oh, I got it, Miss Coleman. So it's about 8 of them that try to go for the phone. So, and then they get into it about who's going to get it.
I love that.
Who's
going to do it? Yes, because everybody has to be the person to help the teacher.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. And Daniel, are your students the same way?
Oh yeah. When we do carpet time and where everyone's sitting on the carpet and I drop something, I have 3 students jumping for it when it's right next to my foot, and anger at each other if they didn't get it, or somebody starts pouting. So then it's having to gain them back and say, okay, it's fine. I got it. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. Let's bring it back.
Let's bring it back in.
Right.
I love that.
Really did.
Okay, so now, how has teaching changed for you during this COVID-19 pandemic? How has it changed? When you think about, you're in the classroom, in the space, where you're doing the carpet time, where you actually are able to send them to the arts class or music or something like that. And so now you don't have any of that. You're not able to write on the easel. You're not able to write on the chalkboard. You're not there where they're sitting and telling them, hey, take your book out and we're going to practice your handwriting or we're going to color. So you're not able to do any of that with the students. So how has teaching changed for you during the COVID-19 pandemic? Because you still have a responsibility to make sure that the kids to a certain level are still being educated. So Daniel, since you're working with the babies, tell us about yours and then we'll come back to Capri.
Yes, of course. So it's been a little bit difficult to do like online classes. So I know for other grades, they've been doing live instructions, but for my students, because they are 4, and I have to keep in mind that even when I'm in the classroom, I do a lot of different strategies to like maintain their attention and engagement. So it's harder to do that online. So
Right.
on Wednesdays we do a live Zoom, but at first we tried to do it as like like an actual lesson, but that presented to be a bit difficult with the 4-year-olds because they were just really excited, and especially with Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
how sometimes it shifts whoever's talking. That
Right.
distracted
Yes.
them real quick because
Oh,
every
wow.
time somebody popped up onto the screen, they wanted to address that person. So we kept it more as a social gathering so that they can see their friends and talk to their classmates. And then what me and my partner teacher are doing is that we record videos of us teaching a lesson where we are doing either reading a book, doing a little bit a math lesson. So the skills that 4-year-olds do are more of like counting up to 10, uh, using their finger to count each thing, or when it comes to read alouds, understanding that like a book has a front cover and that has like the words mean stuff. So we record videos and then we post it so that the parents can show their kids and they can watch it.
Okay.
Um, so we've been doing it that way, and just also just checking up on the parents by calling them to see how they're doing, if they
Yes.
uh, need anything that we can see if we can help in any way. But yeah, it's essentially just recording videos or providing videos that they can watch that
Yes.
are out there. So we'll
Okay.
do the research and look.
Right. 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 Well, that's great. That's great. Now, I guess the videos naturally that you and your partner teacher are recording are I guess the grade level lessons that they would have been getting if they were in the class with you, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we focus specifically on the skills that we know our students need. So I
Mhm.
know that some of my students had a hard time figuring out who the author is, or what
Okay.
to look at pictures, so that in my lesson what I would do is I would just make that very clear and say, oh, we're reading this book and these words mean the title, this picture is the front picture, and just focusing on those skills in those lessons so that they're still getting that instruction even if they're not right in front of us.
Okay. Okay. I think we lost Capri, so I'm sure she'll call back in.
Yeah.
And so, I guess when you talk about sending the videos to the parents, I guess how the parents worked with you in that? Have they been happy to get the videos and show them to the kids, or what has been the parent response with those?
So the system that we use is a program called Class Dojos. So
Okay.
initially, it's a program where give like it's like a point system where we have each a student, and you can give them points for doing a good job or anything. But in that program, there's a class story. It's similar to how Facebook has like a live feed where you see different posts from different people.
Okay.
So we
Yes.
have a class story where we can post different things. So we are connected to the majority of our parents, and on there we can see who's viewed the videos. Currently, we're not at like, because we have close to 20 students. or 20 families. And then right now we're maybe uh, like 5 views per video. We're still trying to get all the families, like 5 to 10 families watch each video, but it's not necessarily the same parents. It's it's always very different of who's watching them, who's not.
Right.
But we also still do check-ins as well, and just
Okay.
try to encourage them to watch those videos. And and then we also post activities that they can do based off of the video.
Great, great, great. Um, Let me see if I got Capri back. I keep seeing her trying to come back on. So Capri, can you tell us about how your teaching has changed during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, I'm sorry. Everything just went out all of a sudden.
That's okay.
Well, we actually teach on Google Meets. And what we're able to do, our class time is from 11 to 12 o'clock. So what we're able to do is actually do like a little PowerPoint, and we're able to show that to the students.
Mhm.
Whereas before, of course, we're in front of the kids, and the kids are able to come in the morning and give us a hug and say good morning and sit down. Now we're just showing them PowerPoints, and then we're reading to them online. And as far as the mute, because I agree with the mute thing.
Yes.
We send out messages to the parents and say, please make sure you're on mute. And I find myself calling students' names, saying, such and such, mute. Make sure you're on mute, mute,
Right.
mute, mute. So
Right.
we definitely, it's a big difference. Like I have a whiteboard, and when I'm teaching math, I have to write down the math problems. Now I also have to type it in the chat box. And
Oh, wow.
I also tell the parents to make sure they have a composition book and a pencil right next to them. So I tell them that, they have to draw out the problems, and I'll draw it out on my board, and then they have to solve it. And then I'll hold it up for a minute, and then I'm like, okay, now 1, 2, 3, everybody type in their answer. So then they type in their answers in the chat box. And then if they want to talk, we'll say, okay, if you have a question or you want to answer a question, then you put a letter A in the box, and then we'll call on you. And you can take your camera off of mute, or your microphone off mute.
Yes.
So
pretty neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's been something, but I mean, it's been working. It definitely has been working.
It sounds like, that first of all, we are thinking out the box and creating new ways of working with students, but also it's involving the parents more. Because the parents have got to be there to kind of oversee what the kids are doing and to assist, where in older times, the parents just sent the kid to school, and the teacher did all the work, and the kids came home. And some parents did help the kids with homework, some did not. So now you're forcing the parents to have to be more involved and engaged in their children's education. Because for one, I heard Daniel say, hey, the parent has got to pull that video down to show to the kid. And then I heard you say, hey, the parent has got to assist because, write down some of the problem, write down probably what you're saying, and then help the child to actually see it, maybe go through it. And then the child can put the answer, if they have the answer, by typing A. Okay, so I think I got that. I think that's pretty good though, because education, while we thought it had advanced because people put some computers in the classrooms, we're seeing that it was not as advanced as we thought. And so we've had to revamp a lot of our learning systems, and I would say probably revamp some of this curriculum that we have, because some of it cannot be done over computer. Because to me, you doing a PowerPoint, I mean, you could do what Daniel and them are doing, send the parent the PowerPoint, let the parent, show the PowerPoint. So I do think, it's calling for more engagement with the parent and the student. And so Capri, before I move back to Daniel, you told me that the kids are always excited to see each other. And I could imagine, how many faces do you have on the screen when you guys sign on?
Well, I have a total of 28 students. So, and it's me and two other teachers in the classroom. So, I mean, here lately we've gotten about 20 something students. So we give them a 5 minute window. So
Okay.
if class starts at 11, we'll say, okay, everybody sign on at maybe 10:50. So maybe a 10:50 window,
Yeah.
a 10-minute window. And that's their opportunity to say, hey, how you doing? Hi, such and such, and have a little conversation. And then when 11 o'clock hits, then boom, everybody's on mute. Let's get started. So,
Okay, shut it down.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. And so now, talk about the tools that you think are necessary to help the parents with these age groups. Would you say parents need to go back and possibly review? And if so, is there a place? Because I remember even when kids were coming to the school buildings, parents like, I don't know this math. We didn't do this, and I don't know how to help him with this. So now, now that they're home and they're being forced to kind of assist, what tools would you say the parents need? So I'll go back to Daniel. And Daniel, tell us what tools the parents might need to be able to assist with the learning for their young person or young people.
Yes. So when it comes to our students, we do have to get a lot of parent involvement because it's a lot to ask a 4-year-old to get online and, and watch a video.
Yes, it is.
But
even though
I
they
think
know how to get on the video, they know how
right,
to get
right. But when it comes to having the parents, so a lot of right now, we're trying to make sure that there is a maintenance of what they know, what they've learned so far, because it's hard to teach new material, but we don't want any regression
right.
of what they already learned. So a lot of it is, so for our students, we focus on learning the alphabet and their numbers and skills revolving around that. So we provide the parents with just activities to just do throughout the day. If they're with their child, you can have them sing the ABCs while they're washing their hands, or they can count different objects in the kitchen,
Yes.
so that we try to make it as realistic for situations as possible, so that it's still maintaining the skills that they're doing, but also they
Yeah.
can do in their house. So they can count their toys, or they can make groups and say, oh, I put three trucks in this group.
Oh, wow.
And so different activities to do that, because it's hard. But then we also just send them links to videos as well that they can watch, and then we have a caption that says you can do this while they're watching the video. So if the video asks students what number is this, the parents can encourage them to actually participate and answer and everything. So yeah, so we're just trying to get their involvement and maintenance of those critical skills that we've already gone over so far.
Right, right. I think that's important because, as you said, you don't want students regressing.
Yeah.
And throughout the day, yes, I think it's important. And I always, believe it or not, for a little bit, right when I finished Howard University, I was a mathematics resource teacher at an elementary school in Northeast DC. And I always believed in the manipulatives that we had there in the classroom and putting those before the kids. And so now that they are not there with those, hey, what can you use at your house to do that? And so you just explained that very well, because you got trucks, y'all got Legos, y'all got a whole bunch of stuff that y'all playing with, the dishes for the girls, the kitchen stuff, the Barbies, and the army men and all that kind of stuff. So all of those now become the manipulatives that they have to utilize to work with in order to learn those counting practices and learn how to put those skills in and make them become practical for them. And so I think that's great. I think some folks can count the videos they got at their house, because a lot of folks got videos. I'm supposed
Right.
to count games because they got a bunch of games. And I would say some people might even be able to count their shoes because some of them got shoes too. So,
Yes,
these
indeed.
are just some practical ways that your kid can utilize their counting, and even the name brands look at all the letters and be able to identify the letters and the colors, right, Daniel?
Yes, because even with pre-K, it's really important for them to be able to identify their letters, no matter what font it is in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes students, if it looks a little different, like if it's in a different font, they'll think it's a
Mhm.
different letter, or
Right.
it's not like what they. So that's really important. So yeah, if you look at different signs and everything, you can practice letters, as well as just it's important to ask those questions. So if they're playing with something and you see them laying something out, you can just ask, "Oh, how many toys are you playing with right now?" And so
Cool.
that will prompt them to count. So it's really important to ask those like simple questions to like to incorporate that into their play.
Okay, I love that. Love that. So parents who are listening, and grandparents and godparents and aunts and uncles and cousins who got the kids at home with them, make them count those games, make them count the puzzle pieces. Those of y'all who got 1,000-piece puzzles, make them start counting. Okay, make
Right,
them
and
count for their
identify those
time.
letters.
And identify the letters, yes, because we want to make sure that they can identify those for kindergarten and
Yes.
all of the years upcoming. Okay, so Capri, tell us about the tools and what can help the parents as they are working with their young people who are in the second grade and on the way to being grown.
Well, yes, indeed. So one thing I always get a question. I get this question from my parents. Well, I don't understand how to do this math and so forth and so on. I'm like, but he knows how to do the math. Oh, well, I don't understand that way. Use your child as a tool because
Absolutely.
your child actually knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Secondly, one thing that I do, we use Class Dojo. If the parents are like, they're really struggling, I'll create a video on how to solve a problem or how to code a word.
Oh,
So they
good.
can definitely use, if they use Class Dojo. YouTube is a very good source.
Yes, yes.
YouTube is an excellent source. So if you're having an issue with decomposing a number and you're not quite sure how to do so, then you
Yes.
can type it into YouTube or Khan Academy and they'll actually show you, how to do that.
Okay, wait
And
a minute now. You can't be talking too quick. You said Khan
oh,
Academy.
I'll give them to you later. I'll give you more.
Okay, all right. But we need those sites, honey. We need the sites. But go ahead.
Let me see. I wrote some more down. So just kind of piggybacking on what Daniel said, when you're doing the addition and getting into the multiplication and division, because of course that's what second graders need at the end of second grade. What
Right.
you will want to use, of course, is if you have pasta at home, use some
Oh, they got
pasta.
pasta at home. Got it.
Right. Use some pasta and kind of put them in, rows and divide them up into arrays. Just use whatever you have at home. If you have, even beer bottle caps, if you have
Oh,
those,
got
just
beer
keep saying,
bottles too.
yeah.
That too.
So just save the caps. I won't save the bottles, but just save the caps. If you teach them how to use it, then they'll use it properly.
Yes.
So you can use marbles, you can use beer bottle caps, just whatever, even a cookie sheet. So I have like my letters here because I do have students that are on, pre-K level. So I do have my letters here, and you can just get a cookie sheet from the dollar store, or if you bake and you have one at home, put all the letters on a cookie sheet. And this is, I'm just talking about first, second, third grade or whatever.
Yeah.
And you want them to spell a sight word, just put the alphabet up there and then just have them drag down the letters to spell the sight word. So you actually have the tools already in your home. And if you don't, there's always Amazon. But
your door, but it ain't gonna be tomorrow.
Right. So, but you have the tools at home, and I know that we want to teach them the way that we learn, but the way that they're learning now, they don't want them to just learn one way. They want them to have multiple steps in order to solve a problem. Yes. So just like as adults, there's not one way to solve a problem. There are multiple ways to solve a problem. So you have everything you need at home. And if you have questions, just ask your teacher. or message me. I got you.
Okay, well, look, I love that idea about the cookie sheet, okay? Because if they ain't got a cookie sheet, they got aluminum foil. And so whatever the case is, just put the letters on there for the kids.
Right.
And if y'all don't have the nice like Capri has, then get you some paper, cut the letters out, and make the letters for the kids, okay? Because at this time, the parents have got to be creative. I know y'all got some paper, and I know y'all got some colors and crayons or markers or pencils. So let's make the letters for the kids and be able to help them to do the sight words and to work on different skills that they need during this time. And I would say even add the numbers, because I know that fine box that Capri had, and Daniel has one too. He just didn't show y'all his, but I know that fine box has some numbers in it as well. Okay, so y'all don't forget the numbers. Okay, you're making letters and numbers for the babies. Okay, now, so with that, once again, we're pulling the parents in. Y'all ain't just watching TV, and y'all not just staying on your phone working all day. For those who are working from home, you're also interacting with the children and you're helping them with their lesson as well. So now, I feel that it's important to make sure that we give people sites that they can go to. Now, I never knew YouTube was so popular with all of these education sites until about a year ago. I've been working on my Spanish. I've taken Spanish twice. There's no reason I can't speak Spanish. But I took it on the college level, high school level. I'm like, Lord, help me. So I was looking for some things there, and I saw all these educational things. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So if you all can give us some of the sites, Daniel, for the preschoolers, for even not just 4, but some who are 3, because we have some 3-year advanced kids who could probably do the same thing that the 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds are doing. So give us some sites that maybe the parents can go to if their child needs some other places, or even if they need some places to take their child to.
Right.
Oh, wow. Daniel froze up time he started to talk. Daniel, are you still there? Okay, so we'll come back to Daniel. And that's a wonderful frame. I hate to say that, but it's like a frame where he's really thinking.
Right.
So we'll come back to Daniel. We know that Zoom has some problems, and there are so many people using the system. And so, we'll come back to Daniel. But I think it's important, once again, that we give sites and resources, because that's why we wanted to bring the teachers on, because they have these sites and know where these places are. And we want to make sure that each one of you has the sites. So Capri, if you could talk about the sites that parents can visit, give us some sites, that you've looked up and that you may have even given to parents to look at who have kids, second, third, maybe even 4th grade.
So this site is really good. This site actually goes from, I want to say 1st grade all the way up into high school, maybe college. And this site is called khanacademy.org. So khanacademy.org.
Okay, I'm gonna try to type these in when you say them. khanacademy.org.
Yes. And on that site, it's a math website. So you can assign assignments to I have 2nd grade, so I assign assignments to my 2nd graders, or you can assign assignments to your high schooler or your middle schooler, and it'll do the math that they're actually doing in class. Another one is readworks.org. Readworks.org. And I actually have my kids. This is free. Khan Academy is free. Readworks.org is free. And you can actually assign reading. They can read an article. They can work on their reading comprehension. They can answer questions. They can type out their answers. That one also goes all the way up to, I want to say, middle school and high school. I have epic.com. Now with Epic, I know it's free right now because of the distance learning. Generally, you have to pay, but it has all the books on the students' reading levels. So if you don't know your child's reading level, then make sure you send a message to their teacher and ask, because they should definitely have their reading level. Splash Math is another good one.
Are you saying ODD?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I skipped over that one. Splashmath.com.
Oh, Splash.
Mhm. So Splash Math, of course, it's in the name. It's a math website. You can kind of do the same thing as Khan Academy, but Khan Academy teaches you how to solve the problems. Splash Math is it's a fun website for the kids. The kids might like it. And I have one more, which is iReady. Now,
Is that EYE?
literally a letter I
Okay.
and then ready. And I think it's .com. But excuse me, if your kids are with PG County or in DC, they should have a Clever account to where they can sign into iReady. If not, they may have Lexia, but iReady helps them with math and reading, and it's actually on the level that they're on. So whether they're on grade level, below grade level, or above grade level, it meets them exactly where they are. So those are some good websites.
Great, great, great. And so I guess for YouTube, have you seen that be helpful for people to go onto YouTube as well?
Yes, it is. It actually, YouTube is, I play YouTube for my kids because like they have to know how to count by fives because they're learning money counting and by twos and so forth and so on. So they actually have fun songs for them. And if they leave me and they're not sure how to, I say decompose because we're decomposing large numbers. So they can actually type that in, how to decompose an addition problem. And it'll be a teacher on them on the website, showing them how to decompose the large number. So it has fun songs on there, and then it has teachers actually teaching.
Wow, very nice, very nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Daniel, we got Daniel back. Daniel, give us some of the sites. I want you to know the bishop did say something pretty funny after you kind of left. I just said that pose, where it froze you, was so appropriate. It looked like you were really thinking. And so we're glad to have you back. Can you share some of the sites that parents can use as a tool when working with 3, 4, 5-year-olds? Daniel, do we have you? Daniel? Okay. So Capri, let me ask this. Is there any other information that you want to share that's helpful with the parents working with the young people during this time?
I would say try not to get frustrated with the kids, because you have to understand they're children and they're learning, and they may not understand a problem like you do. Like you're able to break it down in your head and you're able to get it like that. So, but understand that they're literally learning how to solve the problem. So I don't want you to get frustrated and start yelling at them like many of our parents did.
Yeah, yelling.
Right. So don't get frustrated, especially when it comes to a word problem. Just kind of take a breath and go through the cubes process. And if you have a question about cubes, let me know. I got you. If you're bored and you're looking for some things to do and you're done with your eggs, I would create Mancala. I don't know if anybody remembers Mancala, but with a egg carton, you can create that game with the marbles and rocks. That Mancala. No. Okay. So another thing is slime. I know you don't like slime. I don't either. I told Nadia she can never do it again, but that is a good science project because they can measure, and it's a good math project as well. Bubble bomb. Bubble bomb is very easy. All you're doing is getting a Ziploc bag, vinegar, and then baking soda. And then you just pour the ingredients in there, zip up the bag, and then just put it in the sink, and then it just goes poof, something cute.
Wow, I love these science projects.
Yeah. Play-Doh. Play-Doh is very simple to make. All you need is flour, salt, and water. So they can make, to make it last long, you just have to wrap it up. You got to be careful. You can make Play-Doh. They can build a volcano from it, or they can just play with it every day. And I would say bake. We all know I don't bake, but if you are right, if you are a great baker, just have them measure things, because fractions is very important, especially when they get older. And go outside, for goodness sake, go outside and, around your house, not necessarily next door, but let them play outside in the area so they can get some, just a fresh breath of air, and then look at nature, and then be one with the grass. I don't know, but get them outside. Don't keep them stuck in the house.
Oh, Lord.
Are y'all able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Daniel.
Okay,
so
I'm sorry. I had to.
That.
Yeah, I had to switch to my phone. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on with my computer.
So
But
Daniel, give us your sites right quick.
yeah, so on YouTube there is one YouTuber that we listen to for stories. So it's called Story Time at Ani's house, and Ani is AWNIE. And she does really good read alouds and very interactive. There's also Nick Jr. has good activities that you can look at. I know some of my students, I will also put on Starfall for the more advanced ones, because it does kindergarten and pre-K. So Starfall. And I think, yeah, mostly just look at YouTube, and you can find stories as well as counting.
Okay. Counting on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to add anything else for the parents to do with the young people? Like Capri was telling us how to make Play-Doh. She was telling us how to do some of the science projects. And what would you suggest that they do to keep the young people engaged?
Oh, so it's really important for pre-K to at least attempt writing. So not necessarily, so when it comes to pre-K, they are not reading like Capri students or writing. They are mimicking writing. So a lot of times when they write, it either looks like scribbles, or it looks like some form of a letter, but maybe an E that has too many lines, or a B that just looks like circles, somewhat close together. But it's really important to have students write for a purpose. So if you're listening to a story, they can draw a picture of what's happening in the story, and they can just like encourage them to use multiple things. So they can use markers, crayons, as well as like practicing their letters. So if they look at a letter, they can just practice writing it. And that's really important. So I think at home, it's really important for students to really try writing, because it's never too early. And it also helps with their fine motor skills, just to hold a crayon or hold a marker.
Yes. Well, I think that's great. You all have shared some wonderful information with us today. I think it's always important to hear from the people on the front line. And I believe, like I said, teachers are on the front lines. And so you all work with the young people, you help to mold them and shape them and form them and form their minds, and help them to see things differently, and help them to explore things that they probably normally would not be exploring. And so now I believe you're helping the parents to explore with them, which is a wonderful thing. And so thank you so much, Daniel, for all that you do with the babies and for talking with us today. Thank you so much, Capri, for all that you do with the second graders and the people who are on their way to adulthood, and for all that you do with they really do think that they are on their way.
Yes, yes, they
like,
do.
well, what happened to high school? What happened to that? But so we want to play a song as we get ready to get off. Once again, parents, I do have those sites in the Facebook so that you can see those. Oh no, we can't do that song. Let's do a Sesame Street song. But we do want you to go to those sites. I've typed them in when they were giving those sites to us. And so hopefully these tools will be helpful to you. Hopefully those of you who want to know how to make all those things Capri talked about, you'll inbox her. She is at pre-call. She told y'all could inbox her for some ideas. So please do inbox her for those. All right. So once again, we have the count as we go off, who is helping us to count and learn our numbers. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Please do share this Facebook with others who have young people who are at home so that they might have some ideas and resources from these great teachers of ELC. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.